All right, let's continue. In the yesterday's class, we discussed about difference between char and varchar, right? We saw what is database, what is tables, how we will create the database and tables, how we will insert data inside it, right? And we understood about what is data types and what is the difference between char and varchar so far, correct? So now let's just continue with the remaining topics. Let me open a new file. So Mahesh, is this your first demo? Can you hear me? Okay, so no worries, Mahesh. Going forward, also, if you have any doubts, we can just revise these concepts. But before that, please let me know. Do you have any basic knowledge on SQL before, or are you completely new to SQL? Completely new, no problem. Okay, so basically SQL is a language which is used to communicate with the database. Okay, inside the database we will store all the data. Okay, all the data we will store inside database, and SQL is one language which we will use to communicate with the database basically. Okay, so and first in we what we will do, we will create the databases, and inside the databases we will create tables, and inside the tables we will store the data. Okay, so for here in SQL, for each and every concept, we will have some syntaxes. That is, we need to follow that syntax only to do any particular task. Likewise, first what we did, we created a database here. Okay, syntax is create database name. Then this is actually a MySQL workbench. Okay, towards the left side, whatever you can see, that is the list of the databases available. Okay, so under schemas, you can see all the names here. These are all my database names. By default, whenever you install your software, this will be the by default database which you can see. Once you create any other databases, you can find the list like this. Okay, and these are SQL files where we will write all the SQL queries. Okay, so to open this new file, basically we can click on this icon in the toolbar. First icon, if I'm clicking on this, I can able to open one new SQL file where I will write all the SQL code. Okay, so after writing, to save this into our laptops, we will use this save button. And if you want to open already saved files, we will use this folder icon, and we can just open it from open any SQL files from our laptops. Okay, so this is the main main options which we are having in MySQL. And we will first write all the syntaxes here, and we will select, we need to execute every syntax. Okay, for executing, this is the third icon, whatever you can see here, that icon we will just use to execute. Once we execute, at the bottom you can see this is an output section. If you see, if we I mean after executing every query, we will get output at the bottom, if whether it is if it is success or if we get any errors also, we can see here only, right? So actually this is our second demo, and in the previous class I already explained about the how we will create table syntax and what are data types. Okay, if you if you can get time, please, they will provide you the video, try to watch the video, or else I can again repeat this concept once we start our actual classes. Okay, so no worries. Now let me just continue with the concepts. Okay, so actually what we did, in the sense, as I said, first we will create database, right? Like this, create database name. We need to select this and we need to execute. After creating any database, whenever we are working daily also, as you can see here, I'm having this many databases here. So whenever I wanted to work, first I need to activate the database. To activate the database, we will use command, that is use database name. Okay, the SQL morning, let me remove this one. SQL morning is the database which I created for this batch. So first let me activate this database. To activating, we will use this one, use SQL morning. We need to select like this and we need to execute. It got executed. You can see the output here. And you can observe the database is, it got highlighted actually, right, into the dark color. So now why we are activating the database in the sense to let SQL know which database we are going to use. Without activating the database, normally if I execute any statements, SQL will get confused that in which database, I wanted to execute those tables. I mean, any syntaxes. That is the reason for the first time, whenever we are starting working, we need to activate first, and then we need to start doing any, we can just start doing anything. Okay, so inside database, first of all we will create the tables. Okay, and for every table we will just, for example, here I took, you can understand, just for example, this is one employees table. Okay, so this employees is my table name, employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. These four columns I am basically, storing in one table, and these are some data. Okay, so this is a table name. This is the column name. Vertical part is called column name. That is employee ID is one column, employee name, salary, date of joining, or the columns. So inside table basically we will use columns and rows. Okay, so this is my first row of data, and this is my second row of data. Okay, so that is what we created in uh, here in the SQL. So for creating table, we will use create syntax, create table, table name, and inside that how many columns we wanted to store. If suppose these are our columns, right, how many columns we wanted to store, that many column names we will give, and for each and every column name we will define a data type. So this is the syntax. Okay, so that is what I wrote here. Employees, the same example. I'm creating employees table here. Create table employees. Within the parenthesis, I used column names here. Employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. Four columns I gave. And for each and every column, I define the data type. Data type in the sense, it's nothing but by using data type only, we will decide, or SQL will understand what type of value we can store inside that particular column. Okay, suppose for example in Excel, suppose in a date of joining column, if I'm writing randomly any data, it is just accepting. It is not throwing me any error, right? But basically we know date of joining in the sense only we need to enter dates data only inside it. If it is salary, I need to enter only numbers, right? But in Excel file, randomly if I'm entering any data, it is accepting. So but this is a big drawback of the Excel, right? Whenever we are dealing with big data, we should have, we want some systems where if we enter some wrong data, it should alert us, it should send us error stating you entered some wrong data kind of thing, right? For that reasons only databases only, that is not only the one reason. uh, s- though we can store data in the form of excels, right? We have excel file, text file, pdf, we have many file formats, we can store the data over there. But still, for each and for those file formats, if I'm talking about excel, we have so many limitations when we use excel. So because of that problems only databases came into existence. Out of all the problems or limitations which we have in excel, this is one of the limitation, that is if we enter any wrong data also it is accepting, right? So to get rid of that problem in databases, data types will help us. Okay, data type according to the column, basically whenever we are entering any data inside a table, we know what kind of data is that, right? So accordingly, whenever we are defining table only, for that column we will define the data type, so that if we enter any other data, it won't accept, it will throw us error. Okay, that is about data type. And we have mainly three types of data types. One is numerical data type, that is where we will store all the numbers. Next, character or string data type, where we will store characters. Date time data type, where we will store dates. Okay, numerical character data type again divided into two types, that is int and float. Int in the sense only numbers we can store, float in the sense along with the numbers decimal values also we can store. Okay, so that is what I wrote. And next, character or a string data type. Here I can store character data. Basically we have two types of character data, okay, that is char and varchar. Okay, these two are two uh, you know data types for character. Whenever we wanted to store any alphabets, characters, words like that, we will use these two data types. Okay, so whenever we are defining any character data, we will define size also. Okay, I'll show you in a while. Next, date time data type, that is we will store dates in it. And we have, again, it is divided into two types. One is date data type and the second one is date time data type. Okay, if you want to store only dates, we will use this date data type. Along with the date, if we want to store time also, then we will use date time as a data type. And this is the format which we need to use. First year, then month, then date. Here, year, month, date, hour, minute, second. Okay. I'm just trying to explain you whatever we understood yesterday, uh, you know, in a quick way. Can Is it okay? Can you able to understand me, Mahesh? Just trying to revise all the concepts. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. It is bit confusing. Yes, I understand. Uh, no problem. Okay, because we will going forward, we will create many tables. We'll see what is data types. We will do all these things slowly going forward also. No problem. Okay, just to make you understand a little bit, I'm explaining here. But no worries, we will again write and we will again see all these things practically. If you listen 2 to 3 classes, you will get so much of clarity. Okay. Perfect. So now we created the data table here. Okay. So for employee ID, we know that for employee ID, we will enter only numbers, right? That is the reason. After writing, this is a syntax: create table, table name. After writing table name, I used column name as employee ID and I gave the data type as int here. Next, employee name, char. For employee name, as I said, we will use char or varchar, right? And I said one more point, that whenever we are entering character data, we will define size also, right? So that is what, after char we need to use brackets like this, and within that parenthesis we need to enter some size. That means I'm allocating, if I used 10 here, that means I'm allocating 10 bytes of memory for this employee name. That is, I can enter up to only 10 letter word in this column. Okay, if I enter any 11 letter word, then it will throw me error, because I only reserved the size as 10 for this employee name column. So that up to 10 letters only, up to 10 characters only I can enter in this particular column. Likewise, whenever we are defining any character data, we will define the size. Whatever size we will define, up to that characters only we can enter in that particular column. Okay. So next, salary is one more column for which I give float, because inside of, if I define the data type as float, I can enter numbers as well as decimals. Next, date of joining is one column where I define the data type as date. Like this, we created one table. I selected everything and we executed. After that, the table will be created. I'm not executing this because we already did that. So employees is the table name. After executing, we can able to see like this. Okay. And in MySQL, if I'm just selecting here, this is the database name. In every database, if we expand like this, we can see 4 sections: tables, views, stored procedure, functions. For now we are discussing about tables. So if I'm expanding this again, I can see the how many tables I created. I can see the list here. Now we created only one table, that is employees, so I can see the employees table here. If I'm selecting this, at the bottom it will show me the information also here, like what are the column names in that table and what is the data types we define, right? So after creating the table, now you can see in Excel file here, this is one table, right? So what we did, I gave some column names here and I entered some data, right? Whenever we are using create syntax, basically we will only define the structure. Okay, that is by using this syntax, what we did, I just gave the name for the table and I created columns only. Now I need to insert the data. To enter the data, we will use insert command here. Use it to insert the data inside table. So insert syntax is insert into table name, values we need to write, and after that we need to enter the values like this. Within the parenthesis, that is within the brackets, we need to write the values of this column names. Whatever sequence we define the column names, that sequence only we need to use. Employee ID, I gave it as 1. Employee name, I just gave it as Raj. Salary and date of joining. Okay, so this will be my first row of data. Okay, I need to write like this. For after writing each and every value, I'll keep a comma, and for character data and date data type data, we will use single quotes. Numbers we will write directly only. Okay, once I close this bracket, that means SQL will understand that this is one row of data, first row of data. Okay, then I'm keeping a comma here, and we need to enter second row of data. Like that, how many rows we wanted to enter, that many you know that much of data we will write here, and we will execute this. After executing, we can able to see the, suppose, let me just for showing you, I'm just changing the table names because the table names should be unique here. Let me write it as create table employees one. So I'm selecting, I'm executing. You can see it got executed successfully. And after creating any table, just to get that to view that table name here, first we need to refresh this. Beside schemas we have refresh option. I'm refreshing. You can see I got employees one as a table. Okay, if I'm selecting that, now this is just now I created, and it is showing me the information below. Now I created the table, I need to insert the data. So for that, this is the syntax which we need to remember. Insert into employee table name, that is employees one, values, and I'm giving some data here. Okay, let me select, let me execute. It got executed successfully. Now what I did, I created the table, I inserted the data. To display the data, we will use select command, and the syntax is select star from table name. Star in the sense we will technically call it as asterisk. Whenever we are using star, that means I want to display the complete data. Okay, that is what I wrote. Select star from, let me write it as employees one. So I'll select this, I will execute. This is the execute button. Okay, after executing, you can see the output, whatever we created just now, we got it as a table form, right? Employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining, 3 rows of data we inserted, right? This is our output actually. So by using command, we will create the table, right? By using insert command, we will insert the data. By using select command, we will display the data. Okay. Here I said if we use star like this, it will display the complete data. Instead of complete data, if we want to display any particular data, we will write that particular column name. For example, if I wanted to see employee name and salary columns here, I can write it as select employee name comma salary from employees. Select, execute. You can see this is employee name column, this is salary column. Okay, like this. So this is a basic understanding which we finished previously. Okay, no worries. If you have any doubts also going forward, everything will be clear. Okay, so now let me open another file, and let's just continue with the remaining concepts. So far what did we understood? We saw how to create the table, how to insert the data, and we understood about the data types, right? Next concept is SQL sublanguages. Let me show you one picture. So uh, basically we have something called as commands in SQL. Okay, all our SQL commands are divided into 5 types. We will call them as sub languages in SQL. Okay, so as you can see here, we have 5 types of sub languages. One is DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. Okay, so and if you observe, in each and every language here we have some commands, right? So we need to discuss all the commands now. That is about the SQL sub languages concept. So let me write now. We have SQL sub languages, as I said, and it is divided into 5 types. So first one is DDL, that is data definition language. Okay, and the commands comes under DDL are create, alter, let me write at the bottom, create, alter, truncate, drop, rename. Okay, this 5 commands we have which comes under DDL. What is DDL? What is this 5 commands? We will see detailing. Okay, next it is DML. DML in the sense data manipulation language. Commands comes under DML are insert, update, and delete. Next, DCL, data control language. Okay, this is one more language, that is DCL, data control language. Commands are grant and revoke. Okay, next TCL, transaction control language. Commit, save point, and rollback are the 3 commands comes under TCL. Okay, next DQL, that is data query language, and the command comes under DQL is select command, only one command. Okay, so basically these are 5 types of sub languages. All the commands in the SQL divides into these 5 types. Okay, so first let's understand about DDL, that is data definition language. Let me just copy this. Guys, if you have any doubts you can just ask me. Okay, if you don't understand anything, I hope I'm clear right up to here whatever I said.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm muted, I just didn't check. So I'm saying data definition language. Okay, so that is uh, all the commands comes under DDL are this, all 5 commands deals with the structure of the data. Okay, all the commands which comes under DDL basically sorry guys, actually I'm suffering from cold and cough from last day. Okay, so I'm seeing DDL, all the commands comes under DDL deals with structure of the table. Okay, let's see that. First command is create, which we already discussed, right? What we discussed, create command is used to create any table, right? Not only table, actually to tell you that exact definition, I can say create command is used to create any database object. What are all the database objects we have in the sense? Database objects in the sense tables, views, stored procedures, like this. Whatever we have, this all called as database objects, which we will cover. All these concepts also we will cover in our course. First we are dealing with tables, after that we will see views, after that we will see stored procedures. At that time we will discuss detailing about these things, what is views and what are stored procedures. But basically this all are called as database objects. Okay, so to create all these things, we will use create command only. Like just now we saw how we are, creating the tables, right? This one. Okay, let me do one thing. As we have one more new student, let me create users create syntax once again with different table. Okay, suppose let's create any students table now. So how to use the create syntax? As I said, create table, table name I need to write. Suppose if student is my table name. Okay, after writing table name, within the parenthesis I need to mention column names. For example, for student ID is my column, I'll write the column name here. And I wanted for every column name, whenever we are creating the table, we need to define columns. For every column name, basically we need to define the data types here. So SID is my column. For this column, data type. Okay, I'll show you. So for SID column, let me give it as integer data, integer data type. Okay. Now maybe student name is one more column. In that I'm using varchar of 10. So what is char and what is varchar? In the sense, as I said yesterday, in char, basically suppose if I define the size as 10. Okay, if I define size as 10, that means I'm saying whenever we are storing character data, we will define the size. If we define the size as 10, we can enter up to only 10 letter word in it, like 10 characters only we can enter, right? But suppose if I'm using char, for char data type, if I gave size as 10, and in that if I entered any 3 letter word, okay, so if I enter any 3 letter word, that means in this 10 as size, I used only 3 letters. That is 3 bytes of memory. 10 is size in the sense, basically at the back end what it is happening. SQL is reserving 10 bytes of memory for this particular column. Okay. In that 10 bytes of memory, I used only 3 bytes of memory by entering Raj as my name. In 1 byte, R will, 1 byte, R will take 1 byte. A will take 1 byte, J will take 1 byte. Only 3 bytes are used. Again, I'm left over with 7 bytes, right? This 7 bytes of memory, if I'm using char as a data type, this 7 bytes of memory, what SQL will do? It will just, it will use the 7 bytes of memory by blank spaces. That is, it will just write like this, RAJ. 3 letters are done, right? Again 7 letters, it will take spaces like this. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this, all this 10, whatever size I defined, all that particular size will be used if I am using char. But here actually I'm entering only 3 letter word only. No need of this 7 letters, 7 bytes is actually not needed, right? But in irrespective of whatever data we enter, whatever size we define, that complete size char will use. So that is the drawback here. By if we use char, uh, our memory will get wasted. correct? If it is varchar, what it will happen? I will take the same example. For varchar also, I define the size as 10. Okay. I entered name as Raj. Here also, obviously 7 bytes of memory will be left over, right? In 10, I used only 3 letters. So 7 bytes of memory is left over. So here in varchar, that leftover bytes, leftover bytes of memory will be given back to the database. Okay. So whatever leftover bytes are there, that will be given back to the database. Here memory won't be wasted. Whatever, how much data enter, that much memory only varchar will use, right? But if I use char, uh, how much size I entered, that complete size will be used. Whether I entered only 3-letter word, 2-letter word, 5-letter word, how many letters I enter also, whatever size I defined, that many bytes of memory will be used. The complete memory will be used for char. But for varchar, how much size I defined also, how many letters I entered, that much memory only it will use. Remaining memory will be, it will again give back to the database. So I can say here memory won't be wasted, right? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So this one actually we discussed yesterday also. So that is about char and varchar. So let me write this at the bottom. So SID, S name, varchar of 10, right? So here, let me use any another column. Suppose student ID, student name. What can be the another columns for student
Date
details?
type.
Date, time, data type you want, right? So for what date, student age can be one column, and
Join into
maybe
date.
I'll using maybe I'll use as join date or graduation year. Let's use it as, it is student actually, not graduation year also. Anyways, okay, just to make you understand sample data I'm writing. Okay, so academic year I will write. Academic year is one column. For that I'm using date type, data type, as someone asked. Okay, so maybe these 3 columns are enough. Accordingly, according to the date column we are using, we will define the data type. For SID, I know I'm going to enter numbers only, so I gave int. S name will be character, so I gave varchar, and I define size as 10 only. Next I used academic year, and I am using date time as the data type. Instead of academic year, maybe we will see, let me just write it as joining time, like that. Okay, so now I need to create the table. I'm selected this, it got created. To just get that student table here, to reflect this, whatever table we created, to reflect that new table here, I need to refresh this. Now I got student table, right? Now I need to insert the data. Insert into, you can see we got student table. If I'm selecting the student table, we can even see the information here. Here information section, we can see the column names and data types which we already given. Right now we need to insert the data. So I'm using insert into, actually we are not talking about insert here, we are talking about DDL commands, that is only create command. Next is alter. So do you want me to continue with this, or do you want me to insert data and show you the results?
Continue with the DCL only.
DDL, right? Yeah, this
Yeah,
like this we
DDL.
will, yeah, no problem. Like this we will basically create the tables. Okay, accordingly whatever data type we want, that data type we can use. Okay, this is how we will create the table in DDL. This is create is done. Okay, create is one command which comes under DDL. Whenever we wanted to create tables, we will use syntax like this and we will create. Okay, insert command comes under DML. At that time I'll show for the same table we will insert the data and we can see. Okay, now next command is alter. Alter, here for alter we are having so many use cases. Let's see one by one. Okay, the first use case of alter is used to add any new column in the existing table. Okay, suppose I already created the table. Now I wanted to add one more what we call one more new column to the existing table. At that time I can use alter command. Okay, so let's see how to write it. The syntax will be like alter table table name. We need to use keyword called as and. That means if you understood here what I'm doing, suppose I'm having employees table, I already created the table. Whenever I'm creating the table, I'll give some column names. Okay, but now I realized I wanted to add one more column, one more new column in this employee table. Then I'll use alter command. That is what I wrote. Whenever it is used to add new column in the existing table. Okay, for suppose in the employees column, employees table, I want any another new column. Then I'll use alter command, and the syntax is alter table name. Add is a keyword which we need to write, and I will write it as add column name, and that is new column name. And whenever we are writing column names, we need to define data type as well, right? That is what we will do. Add column name and data type. Let's see example. Alter table employees is our table, right? For this table, let me add any new column. So maybe bonus as one column. For that bonus, maybe I will use integer as float, because float will accept numbers as well as decimal values also, right? So like this, let me select alter table name, add column name, new column name. And for that column, whenever every time if we use create command or alter command, whenever we are defining column name, we need to define data type also, right? I'm selecting and I'm executing. It got executed successfully. Now let's just see. Suppose, let me refresh. For now this employees table, I'm having 4 columns only. Let's refresh. Now I got bonus also as an extra column, right? Because we just added a new column here. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. This is the first use case. We have so many use cases in alter. Second use case is alter is used to remove any existing column. I can write alter is used to remove any column from the existing table. That is, I already have one table, I already have some columns. Then I realized I don't want any one particular column. I want to remove only one column. At that time, again I'll use the alter command only. Okay. So the syntax is alter table name. All this syntax is whenever you are completely new to SQL, whenever you're listening for the first time, it will be confusing only. But all these syntaxes, there is no other way we need to remember. With some practice, you will just get used to it. Okay, no problem. Alter table name, and as I'm saying, remove. Previously, I wanted to add a new column. That is the reason I used add as a keyword. Now I wanted to remove the column, so I'll use drop as a keyword here. Inside alter, I'll use drop keyword. Okay, and I'll say I wanted to drop column, right? So I'll write column as a keyword and I'll use column name. Whatever column name I wanted to remove, that column name we need to write here. This is the syntax. Okay, let's see one example. Alter a table, employees is our table name, drop command, column is a keyword, and now what column name I wanted to drop, maybe same bonus column whatever we had just now. Let me write that bonus column and we can drop like this. Okay, so yes, now let me refresh. You can see bonus is gone, right? Because we removed that particular column. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So this is about the second use case of alter command. Now let's see third use case of alter command. By using alter, even we can use it to change data types of existing column. Okay, suppose here what we are doing, I already created tables, I'm already defined data types. Whenever we are creating table itself, we will define the data types, right? But here if we want to change the data type for all, sometimes it will happen. Suppose here if I suddenly wanted to change the data type for already existing table also, we can do that by using alter command. For example, here we are having employees table, in which for example employee name I gave care. Now we understood the difference between char and varchar. We realized that by using varchar our memory won't be wasted. So now to change that I can use the alter command. Or else for date of joining I'm having only date as a data type. Now I wanted to add time also. At that time I can change date to date time, like that accordingly we can change. Alter table name. Now I'm saying I wanted to change the data type, right? I'll use modify as a keyword. Okay, modify. For adding, we used add as a keyword. For removing, we used drop as a keyword. Now I'm using modify as a keyword, right? What I wanted to modify, I wanted to modify column. That is the reason I will write column as also a keyword. Now I'll write in this modify column, I'll write whatever column name I wanted to modify. Suppose for employee name, so I'll write it as, okay, this is syntax, right? I'll write column name, new data type. This is the syntax. Let's see example. Alter table, employees is my table name, in which I want to modify column. That is the reason I'm saying modify column. And what column name I wanted to change, employee name. And new data type, what previously I had char, now I wanted to give varchar. So directly I can give varchar of 10. Even size also, suppose I want to wear a char only, but I wanted to increase the size as 20, then also I will use the same syntax. We can even change the size, or else we can even change the data type by using the same thing. Okay, now I'm changing from char of 10 to I'm changing varchar of 10. Let's execute. It got executed successfully. Let's refresh and check. Here you can see we got varchar, right? That is how we will use all these commands. Alter, as I said, we have so many use cases. First use case, it is used to add any new column. Okay, for already creating table, if you wanted to add a new column, I can use alter command. Even I can remove the existing column. Second use case is, if I wanted to remove any column also, I'll use alter only. If I wanted to change any data type also, I'll use alter only, right? I hope I'm clear up to here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Perfect. Next, we have fourth use case also. That is, if we wanted to rename column name. Suppose I gave some column names here. I wanted to change the column name. Then also we'll use alter command only. The syntax is alter table name. Here I'm saying I wanted to rename column name. So I'll write, let me remove this. So I'll write a rename as a keyword. Then I will say I wanted to rename the column, right? So I'll write rename column. I'll write it as old column name. Whatever we give first, that one we will write actually old column name to new column name like this. Okay. So let's see one example. Alter table name employees. In employees table, maybe let's rename column. Which column? This date of joining. Date of joining column I already have. I'm just renaming it to DOJ like this shortcut. Just to show you, I'm just changing the column name. Whenever we wanted to change any column name, we will use this alter command like this. Inside alter, we need to use rename to change the column name. Okay, let's do that. See, let's check now. I'm refreshing once again. Now I got DOJ here, right? That is column name got changed. That is fourth use case. Next, for five use cases, basically we are having in alter. Fifth use case is about primary key. We have one concept called as primary key. We didn't we didn't started about this concept. Going forward, we have integrity constraints, right? Table data using rename. And I mean, Santosh, are you talking about if you want to rename the table name? That is not rename then. If you wanted to change the data, you are asking, right? Suppose I already gave some data. If I wanted to change the data, for example, select star from employees. Suppose I'm having some data here. Okay, in this, instead of 550,000, if I wanted to change the data, then what I need to do, you are asking, right? Yeah, for that we will use update command. Okay, we will have, as I said, in DML commands, we are having update command. By using update command, if we wanted to change any data, we will use that. Okay, we will just update the data accordingly. Okay, we will see. Once we are done with all those commands, you will understand everything very clearly. Now, uh, the fifth use case of alter command is if we wanted to add any new primary key, we will use alter command. Okay, but we didn't started this primary key concept. After once we are done with SQL sublanguages concept, next concept is integrity constraints. In that we have primary key. After understanding what is primary key, again we will get back to this concept and we will see this fifth use case. Okay, so for now these are the use cases of alter command. This is how we will use alter command. I hope I'm clear. So this is about create is done, alter is done. Remaining commands we will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Okay. So today is our last demo, guys. You will get a new link. Please check and please follow that link. Okay. Whoever get registered, the link will be changed to tomorrow definitely. By today evening, you will get a new Zoom link. Use that link and connect tomorrow's class. We'll continue with the remaining concepts tomorrow. Okay.
Is it possible to change the order of the columns through
Or
alter command?
order of the columns, like no. You are saying like first employee ID, then
Yes.
DOJ. No. We can't do that.
Okay. Through SQL itself, is it not possible, or with alter it is not possible?
First, after creating, if we want to change the order, actually, it is not possible. How we can change the order? Actually, what is the need of changing the order of columns? No need, right? Wherever it is having also
Just
no.
asking, it's a use case like that.
No. We don't even change the order. Wherever column is there, also no problem. In one table only, we will have all those things, right? Again, if you wanted to display the data, suppose you can do whenever we are writing. Suppose in select command, we discussed if we wanted to see only some particular columns, we can use column names, right?
Yes.
Employee name, salary, like that. We can display. Suppose if I wanted to see whatever order you wanted to see the column names, in that order you can display. But after creating, we cannot just reorder the columns. We cannot do that. But for displaying
Okay.
purpose, you can use your own order.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Wait. Santosh, where are you posting our recording classes and notes? Notes we didn't even didn't started to post. Santosh, once we are done with demo classes only, you will get an mail uh, for your drive access. Then you can find the all the recording videos and notes. Okay, it is not done. We are, to as I'm saying, tomorrow the link will be changed, right? Maybe tomorrow you will get a folder access. Okay, till then you will whatever demo videos are there, or you can get that videos. But once you actually get the folder access, there you can see all the list of recording classes, videos and notes. Okay, perfect. Tomorrow you will get, because
And
this
you
is our
mentioned
last
that,
demo. Yes.
yeah, yesterday you mentioned that recording access will be 6 months, right?
Yes, for 6 months,
So
correct.
if we want to, yeah, so if we want to extend those recordings, is it possible?
You can talk about it with the admin team. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. All right, guys. All right, then let's meet in tomorrow's class. Okay, just check your mails. You will get a new link. Please follow that link. Whoever get registered, we will continue with the remaining
Okay.
things. All right,
Okay.
guys.
Thank
I'm
you.
ending the session for now. Yeah, thank you. Bye.